Today I spiel with Albert. Over the past 20 plus years, he has helped performers, educators, and creators overcome internal blocks like imposter syndrome and self-sabotage, blending psychology, hypnosis, and NLP techniques to empower them to achieve their full potential. He is going to share his insights with us and explore how these tools can support our wellness journey.
Okay.
Hi, Albert. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really happy to be here.
Me too. I'm very excited. I'm always happy to have people who can do hypnosis. Is it hypnosis or hypnotism?
Well, hypnotism, yeah.
Hypnotism, yeah. People who can do hypnotism. I'm always like that because I think it's fascinating, how you can rewire people's brains, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you do. How long have you been doing this?
Well, I've always been interested in coaching and psychology, and I started studying hypnosis for a while. But what really I like is the ability to really help someone come to a rapid solution quickly. So it's kind of what I like is solution focused work. And that's sort of like where I'm at, in a sense.
Do you have like your own practice or do you work with other people?
Yes, I do.
That?
I do work with a lot of people, but my primary work is with actors, and so I represent actors. So what I do mainly full time is I'm a talent agent. So I represent film, TV, theater, commercial, print, and voiceover, and that's pretty much what I do for actors completely, in a sense.
Okay, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so that's what I and the need for this type of work, performance mindset, comes in because a lot of actors sometimes have issues or problems like with imposter syndrome, with fear of success, and so there's a lot of things that can come up, come in that sense too, where the self-doubt pops in. So I feel like this type of work is good with rewiring beliefs, especially negative beliefs or blocks, so to speak.
What's the most common block maybe like internal block that you've seen? And do you know why they show up?
Most internal blocks come in through our parenting, the way we were parented. And sometimes the messages that we received growing up from our family or, which, if we grew up with a family, where parents who criticized you a lot or were critical of you, maybe they told you certain things like you couldn't do this or you couldn't do that. And so that can sometimes affect your self-esteem and affect your outcome on things.
Yeah, sometimes you don't know because it's blocking your subconscious, right?
Yes.
So I guess with hypnotism, you just get rid of that. You just rewire people's brain.
We work through it. And that's the whole thing. It's about developing new belief system.
So how does like hypnosis actually work when it comes to breaking pattern, like imposter syndrome you mentioned, or self-sabotage, for instance?
Well, the first step, whether it's hypnosis or even just coaching in general, because what I generally do, I don't really consider myself a traditional hypnotist. I weave it into my coaching, the processes. So I consider myself more of a performance mindset coach, which sort of like uses processes, using the subconscious mind and rewiring that. So the first step is language. It's the language that we use, because it's not just the language that we use when communicating with other people, but the communication we have within ourselves, our self-talk. So a lot of times if we operate from a deficient mindset where like I am poor or I'm not, or I'm unlucky, or I'm having a bad day, when you do this, what you're doing is reinforcing that belief of happening. So change it around. I'm having a great day.
Even if you're having a bad day?
Yeah.
That's not easy, huh?
It's not easy. Because it goes against like nature, but you can change that. And I think what a lot of people may not realize that you can actually change the outcome of your day, how you look at them. Because if I woke up and I tell you I'm having a bad day today, my subconscious is going to start looking for bad things that are happening to me to reinforce that idea. It's like, see, I told you you're having a bad day.
So do you wake up every morning and telling yourself, okay, today's going to be a great day?
Yes.
Is it something like that?
Yeah, and I'm having a great day.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Like you're having a great day. And also you mentioned tools like ChatGPT. So how can an actor can use that to work maybe smarter, not harder?
Well, the one thing that ChatGPT and Claude or the other large language models are great for is for automation, like, brainstorming automation. So coming up with ideas, content ideas, and story ideas. Now, when we use AI, or the way I kind of advocate using AI is more of a partner rather than a replacement. So if you're doing it to like put out content or doing it to kind of amplify what you're doing, and that's what it should do, amplify what you're already doing, not replace what you're doing in a sense. So what AI can do, especially for creatives, is the brainstorming tool. Adding to your ideas. So you initially have to come up with the idea first, and then what you can do is use ChatGPT or other large language models to kind of polish the idea. But it still has
Yeah.
to be something original that you came up with. Because if I say, give me ideas about, I don't know, writing a book, it'll give me great ideas. But if I don't say, what I want the book to be about, or if I want to put my own voice into it, it's going to give me a very generic, vanilla aspect of something that's not going to be usable. But if I turn around and say, this is what I want to write the book on, this is what I want to say, this is my core client avatar reading the book, and I put all that my own knowledge into it. And it'll help me then refine it a bit and come up with a better plan for me. And then I still have to come back and reiterate and say, okay, this is what I want. So I would say it's a brainstorming partner, not a replacement.
Okay. Because we talk about that, I mean, something just came to my mind now, and you work in that kind of business. Aren't you afraid that with time, ChatGPT is just going to replace everybody? Because I heard about them using AI to even replace actors.
I'm less inclined to be that. I mean, that is a possibility. I don't think it's anytime soon.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say that ChatGPT lacks in, it's great again for automation and enhancing ideas, but coming up with original ideas is not there yet. So and I tested it too, where I was like, okay, ChatGPT, tell me some jokes.
Mm-hmm.
And it was beyond not fun, like unfunny. Like my 5-year-old, niece can come up with a better joke than what ChatGPT gave me.
Yeah.
It was just so phony. And even with just in general, like if I say, write me a story about this, it's going to give me a very superficial story, something that's going to be very, cheesy. So I'm not worried about that. It is true that you can create characters and real avatars of people, but they're
Yeah.
only going to be only two-dimensional. They're not going to be really real unless, again, somebody's behind that.
Yeah, that's true. But sometimes I saw, those fake videos, and they look so real with people saying stuff, and they look
They
like the
do,
actor.
but sometimes if you look at their mouths, if you look closely, you can start
Yeah.
to see that it's
It's only the
robotic,
beginning.
right? Or even like some of the crowd scenes, like crowd pictures. If you look at people close up, their faces are distorted in the picture, which is hilarious. But
Or sometimes they have 6 fingers.
yeah, 6 fingers. So I was looking at Facebook, and it really made me laugh. Somebody took their class picture, like a group class pictures, and enhanced it, and ChatGPT enhanced it. But then when you did close up on every picture, their eyes were distorted, crooked. Faces were sometimes, like like slanted. It looks like a scene of a horror movie if you look up close.
Uh,
Far away, it looked like people, but if you looked up closely, it was like, and that's where I'm like, okay, I'm a little comfortable yet that AI cannot, replace, that yet. I am concerned though on the voiceover side.
mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Even when I wrote my book last year, and I had companies like, we can have AI narrate my book. I'm like, no, I don't want that. I want a real person to narrate my book, for my audiobook. Because a lot of times, the issue of consent comes in, because let's say I decide to donate my voice as an actor. Let's say I'm a voice actor and I record this project. Now you can use my voice to record other projects that I
I
don't even
know.
know I recorded, or that I did that. This came up like last year sometime, beginning of last year. The recording artist Drake had a lawsuit because someone created a song.
Yeah, and I think I heard about that. Yeah.
And somebody went up to him and said, "Oh, Drake, your song was interesting." He's like, "What song?" And I'm like, "Okay, that's scary. That's a cause for concern."
Yeah. Yeah, they could come up with any song, you could say anything in there, and you don't even know it was you. I mean, it wasn't you doing it. So, yeah, that's how the voice is. I think they're already there. The image not yet, but the voice, they can do a lot of stuff right now. They are.
Yeah. So, I mean, we need to have better protections. I think the Performance Union, the Screen Actors Guild, and AFTRA has to come up with good protections for voice actors to keep them protected. Because back in 2023, we had the actors strike, and that was part of one of the concerns with SAG-AFTRA actors was AI and the image creation and likeness. And so the one thing I would say to avoid, never to consent to as an actor, is can they use your image to train AI models? And then you should never consent to that.
Yeah, maybe people at the beginning, they're desperate at the beginning of their career, they would say yes.
But I'd be careful about that, because again, they can put you now in the movies and then have to pay you.
Yeah. And in a movie, maybe you didn't agree, you could be against your beliefs or whatever. You know what I mean? You want to do those kind of movies.
Yet it's like that. I mean, Tom Hanks said in an interview that, with AI, he'll be making movies even after he's gone.
Yeah.
Like, that's scary.
Yeah. They don't even have to pay you. The best money for them ever.
And that's what's scary and sneaky for the studios, because they don't have to pay anybody.
I know. That's the dream, right?
Yeah. All they have to do is pay a couple of computer programmers or coders right there to do it. Yeah. There you go.
I was checking your website and I saw something about hypnosis for childbirth. What is that about?
So, yeah, there's a lot of different things that for childbirth that does is it helps relax the mom and to really kind of connect to childbirth as a natural process, rather than, because at least in a Western world, the Americanized world, we condition mothers that childbirth is going to be painful, scary. And what hypnosis or childbirth is like, no, it's let the body do its own thing. The female body is equipped to give birth naturally.
Yeah.
And let's tap into that. Birth as nature intended it to be. And removing the fear is a big thing too, because that's what a lot, especially first-time mothers, there's a lot of fear when it comes to childbirth because of the negative conditioning that we receive. So,
okay. Because on your website, there's so many different things like addiction, cancer support, even business skills. So is it your voice? Is it a recording that so we can buy recording of your voice?
Yeah, it's my voice. They're usually recordings are anywhere between 15 and 17 minutes, and they're not long.
Okay.
And you listen to them with a headset or earbuds when you're relaxing. So like when you're either laying down or just sitting and reflecting, you can pop them in and like it's a 15-minute boost, so you can do it on a daily basis. And over time, these skills will improve. Now, what it does is it works with your natural subconscious. So a lot of it is just removing the fears or blocks. So if you can remove, like even someone who's public speaking has a fear of public speaking, if you can remove some of that fear, they're going to be a much better speaker already, just by that alone, by removing the fear. So, and even being a better athlete. Now, you still need technical training. It's not like hypnosis can make you an athlete training, but I can make you the best athlete that you are already capable of, the best person you can be at the moment. And that is by removing any blocks, any fears, any anxieties. And you'd be surprised how far people can perform when they remove that anxiety from their mind.
How long do you think it takes when you listen to your session? Maybe like a month, 2 months, 6 months?
I would say, give it about 21, at least minimum of 21 days consistently.
21 days.
I would say, or even a month, I would say to start and look for even small changes. Okay, maybe instead of if you use a scale of 1 to 10, let's say you have a 7 or 8 when it comes to public speaking. Like you're on a scale of 7 or 8 anxiety. Even if you get down to a 4 or 5, that's a win as far as anxiety level. So you start to reduce it a bit. Also, your signal too. It's changing your perception of things. And going back to even with the childbirth example, a lot of people are conditioned, especially that labor is pain, when labor is just labor. So what?
You say that as a man. I just want to say, I have 2 kids. Labor is pain.
No, there is a real thing. Pain is real. There's no such thing as fake. Mm-hmm. But it also, pain originates in the brain.
Yeah.
So if we can control the brain, now everybody's perception of pain is differently. So because they've also done a lot of studies with childbirth, and they've done with women in Africa, women in Eastern Europe, and American women, and they asked them perception of pain in childbirth, and Americans had the most highest perceptions of pain.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of women from Africa or even Eastern Europe had lower perception of pain. And because a lot of it has to do with the fear that we're conditioned of that, and so if we can eliminate at least anxiety around the perception of pain will be different.
For me, it's called drugs.
Well, and the thing about with drugs with childbirth, I mean, that's it does calm the mom down, but it could also be dangerous to the baby. And also, childbirth is a voluntary the mother has to be able to push and use the muscle with the contract. Otherwise, sometimes the pain meds will dull the muscle.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's going to make it harder. It's going to make it even harder, than what it should be. A lot of it is conditioned. Yes, and it's easy for me to say. And I'll even say that if men can give birth, we'd have a much less population. Because we wouldn't do it. Because, we can't even get the common cold without crying and being.
You said it. I didn't say anything.
Yeah. Well, I gotta call it out. I gotta be honest. But pain is subjective, because you could take let's with men. Let's say you get a procedure done. Let's say stomach surgery is a random example. You could have 2 or 3 men that get the same amount of surgery, and everyone's going to report a different experience. Some men are going to say it was nothing and recovered fast. It's the world is going to end and there are months and months of agony. But it's the same surgery, the same exact thing. However, the perception of pain is different.
I had a question about the one to uncover your leadership potential. How will you do that? Just by listening also to one of your recordings?
You would go by the training you already have. So you already have the training, the background to be a leader. And then by listening to that recording, what it's going to do is help your confidence in and if you have that confidence already built up, you're going to be a much more effective leader just by having the confidence alone. So it's about instilling the confidence, and that you already have the knowledge and the background to do this. Because most of the time, sometimes leaders go into that self-doubt, am I really going to be effective, or am I going to really speak with authority? Because when you're more confident, you're going to speak more with authority. Your body language is going to be more aligned with authority, and therefore you're going to be much more effective as a leader when you're aligned internally as a leader. So again, what hypnosis is going to do is help you align yourself as a leader and mentally prepare you to be a leader.
That's really important. So what is the profile of the people who contact you? Are they only actors, or anybody can contact you to have maybe private? Do you do private session,
Yeah,
or
so
they
I
have to
would
go on
say
your
any
website?
people that are performers or vending aspects, people that are going to education or teaching or sales or public speaking or coaching, even anybody who has to kind of like put themselves out there,
Okay.
even creators too, because a lot of times it's putting yourself out there, going live, and just kind of like being vulnerable. Because even anytime you go live, whether it's on social media or giving a public presentation, you're making yourself vulnerable. And the idea here is to be comfortable with that vulnerability and lean into that.
Do you coach people personally? You
Yeah.
do private session also?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Because on your website, we can just go there and order something and just listen to it.
Yeah,
I think that's also very convenient.
absolutely. And that's even for a lot of times they do it on their own pace, their own time, and their own terms, because everybody is different. And I put in a lot of stuff on there on the website because it's something for everybody. Everyone's going through their own unique problem or issue that they want help with or assistance with. And therefore, I want to try to create, my goal was to create something for everybody.
All right. And so you work for an agency, so the agency will refer people to you if they think that, okay, this person could be more outgoing or whatever, they will say,
Well,
okay, we're
the
gonna.
agency is my own agency because I'm a talent agent, so I own Bramante Artists.
Okay, I thought you worked for an agency. Okay.
No. I've always owned my own company, but usually
Okay.
people can find me on social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, and if they want to work with me, they can just reach out, and then we'll, usually I'll schedule like a 10-minute discovery call or just jump on a call and see what we can do.
Great. Okay, I will add all the information to the show notes anyway.
Perfect.
Do you want to add something? Maybe I didn't ask.
Well, I was just going to say one of the things that hypnosis is great for, in addition to obviously we talked about removing anxiety, but we look at the world, everybody is having the answers within them. So you have everything really within you to succeed. What we do is just help you tap into that, like tap into your greatness, because you are all great people and you already have immense power for greatness. It's helping you tap into that.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to know, how much you're worth and what you can do with yourself, unless somebody else is telling you, or tap into your subconscious.
Right, of course.
All right, thank you very much, Albert, for all those information. I would put all your information in show notes, and people can contact you. And you're very visible on social media, you said, so that's good.
Yeah.
Thank you, and I hope that everything is gonna work out for those people using AI. No, not too much.
Yeah.
Go too fast. I don't want to see robot on TV all day long.
Yourself, but yeah, I mean, I think it's important for us to embrace it and use it, but everyone has their own limitations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Bye.